She's used to men chasing her, praising her, needing her. So what happens when you don't? The moment you stop feeding her ego, something shifts. At first, she won't say anything. She'll act normal, calm, unbothered, but inside, she notices because she's used to something. Used to men replying instantly, used to compliments without effort, used to attention she didn't even earn. And then you come in different. You don't react the same, you don't chase, you don't rush to prove yourself. And suddenly her ego doesn't know where to stand. She won't explain this, but she feels it, because her ego isn't just confidence. It's built on reactions, on how men respond to her, on how easily she can pull attention. But when you don't give her that, you create silence. And silence is dangerous, because now she has to think, why isn't he like the others? Why isn't he trying harder? Why do I feel like I'm the one chasing now? That's the crack. That's where her ego starts breaking, not because you attacked it, but because you refused to feed it. Most men lose right here. They see her pull back and they panic. They start over-texting, over-explaining, trying to win her back, but they don't realize she was testing them, testing your emotional control. Because attraction isn't about who wants more, it's about who needs less. And when you show her that you don't need her validation, her ego starts searching for yours. She leans in. She gives more attention, more energy, more curiosity. Not because she decided to, but because she feels it. That imbalance, that tension, attraction lives in that space where she's not fully sure about you. Where she can't fully control you, because what she can control she doesn't chase, but what feels just out of reach. That's what pulls her in. Most men think breaking her ego means dominating her. No. It means staying grounded when she expects reaction. It means holding your frame when she tests it. It means not collapsing just to keep her, because the moment you stop proving yourself, she starts trying to prove herself to you. And that's when everything flips. She invests more, thinks more, feels more, and she won't say it, but she knows. You're not like the others, and that's exactly why she can't ignore you. Her ego doesn't grow from who she is alone. It grows from how people react to her. Every compliment, every fast reply, every bit of extra attention adds another layer to it, not consciously, but emotionally. She starts expecting it. Not because she's arrogant, but because it becomes her normal. When attention comes easily, it loses value, but her dependence on it quietly increases. So when you do what most men do, giving her validation without resistance, you're not building attraction, you're stabilizing her ego. You're confirming her position. You become predictable, and predictable never feels exciting. But the moment that pattern breaks, everything shifts. When your attention isn't automatic, when your responses aren't instant, when your energy doesn't revolve around her, it creates a gap. And that gap is uncomfortable for her ego, not painful, just unfamiliar. Now instead of receiving, she starts noticing. She becomes aware of your absence in small ways, the delayed reply, the lack of overreaction, the fact that you're not trying to impress her. And this is where something subtle begins. She starts questioning her own position. Not out loud, but internally. Why isn't he giving me what I usually get? Is he not interested, or is he different? That uncertainty is powerful. Because her ego is used to control. It's used to knowing where it stands with men. But when it can't read you easily, it loses that control. And when control fades, curiosity replaces it. She begins to invest attention where she once received it. She checks your behavior more closely. She notices small changes in your tone. She becomes more aware of your presence because it's no longer guaranteed. And that's the shift most men never understand. You didn't ignore her to punish her. You didn't withdraw to play games. You simply stopped feeding something that was never meant to be constantly satisfied, and in doing that, you created emotional movement. Because attraction doesn't come from giving her more of what she already has. It comes from making her feel something she doesn't experience often. That slight imbalance where she's no longer fully in control is what pulls her in. Her ego doesn't break in a loud, dramatic way. It softens quietly, and in that softness, she becomes more open, more attentive, more emotionally engaged. Not because you forced it, but because for the first time, she had to feel your value instead of just receiving it. Silence doesn't just mean you're not talking, it means you're not reacting. And that's where most men lose control, because when she pulls back, goes quiet, or gives less, it triggers something inside you. A need to fix it, to fill the space, to bring things back to how they were. But the moment you rush to fill that silence, you kill the tension that was starting to build. She won't explain this, but she feels it, because silence creates a space where emotions get louder. When you're constantly present, texting, talking, reassuring, she doesn't have to feel anything deeply. Everything is right there, clear, predictable, safe, but silence removes that comfort. Now she has to sit with her thoughts. She starts replaying your last interaction. She wonders why your energy changed. She questions what you're thinking, what you're doing, who you're with. And that's where attraction begins to grow, not in constant communication, but in the absence of it. Because when there's space, imagination takes over, and imagination is always more powerful than reality. Most men think silence pushes her away, but the truth is controlled silence pulls her in. There's a difference. Silence out of insecurity feels weak. Silence out of control feels powerful. She can sense it. If your silence feels like you're waiting for her, she loses interest. But if your silence feels like you're focused, grounded, and unbothered, she leans in, because now she's the one trying to reconnect. She sends that extra message. She checks your story. She finds small reasons to reach out, not because she planned to, but because silence made her feel something she couldn't ignore. That slight discomfort, that curiosity, that need to understand where she stands with you. Attraction lives in that space, where everything isn't fully explained, where emotions aren't constantly reassured. Because when you're always available, you become easy to understand. And what's easy to understand rarely feels exciting, but when you allow silence to exist, you give her room to feel your absence. And absence, when used right, doesn't create distance, it creates desire. She doesn't sit you down and say, "I'm going to test you now." It never works like that. Her tests are quiet, almost invisible. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss them completely. Or worse, react in a way that instantly lowers her attraction. Because her real questions are never spoken. She won't explain this, but she feels it. Instead of asking where you stand, she creates situations to see where you stand. She might take longer to reply. She might cancel plans last minute. She might act slightly distant after things were going well. Not because she lost interest, but because she's observing you, watching how you handle uncertainty. Most men see this and panic. They think, "I'm losing her." So they start chasing harder, messaging more, trying to fix something that wasn't even broken, and that's exactly where they fail, because in that moment, she's not judging your words. She's measuring your emotional stability. She wants to see if your behavior depends on her actions. If her pulling back makes you lose control, then she already knows she has it. And once she feels that control, the attraction starts fading. Not because you did something wrong on the surface, but because you showed her that your center isn't stable, that you can be moved too easily. But when you don't react the way she expects, that's when things change. When she pulls back and you don't chase, when she becomes unpredictable and you stay grounded, when her energy shifts and yours remains steady, it creates a contrast she can't ignore. Now instead of feeling in control, she starts questioning you. Why didn't he react? Why does he seem unaffected? Is he really this calm, or am I losing my grip here? That's the moment her attention deepens. Because now you've passed the test she never told you about, and here's the truth most men never understand. Her tests aren't designed to push you away. They're designed to feel you more clearly, to see if you're just another man reacting emotionally or someone who can hold his ground without needing constant reassurance. Attraction grows when she feels that stability, that quiet confidence, that sense that you're not easily shaken even when she shifts the energy. Because what she's really looking for is not perfection, it's control. Not control over her, but control over yourself. And the moment she feels that she doesn't need to test you as much anymore, because she already knows the answer. Most men don't lose her because they lack effort, they lose her because they give too much of it at the wrong moment. There's a subtle shift that happens when her energy pulls back. It's small, almost unnoticeable. Her replies get shorter. Her tone changes slightly, the excitement isn't as obvious as before, and instead of slowing down, most men do the opposite. They lean in harder, they double text, they over-explain, they try to bring back the old vibe as fast as possible. But what they don't realize is this reaction exposes everything. It shows urgency, it shows dependence, it shows that her attention controls your behavior, and the moment she feels that the dynamic flips. Because attraction isn't built on who gives more. It's built on who stays centered when things shift. She won't explain this, but she feels it. When your effort suddenly increases as her effort decreases, it creates imbalance. Not the kind that builds desire, but the kind that removes mystery. Now she knows exactly where you stand. There's no tension left, no curiosity, no space for her to wonder, and once she stops wondering, she stops feeling. Most men think more effort equals more attraction, but attraction doesn't respond to pressure. It responds